I love this song. How to feel. How to feel. This isn't what you wanted. That's too bad. She's a fucking monster, but it's the only one we have. I know the fellas that did that song. They're good boys. And they make good boys and girls. So we're trying to make a world a better place for folks like them. Kayam and his crew. Long live the new flesh. I did never knew that's what this song was called. I call them soul sacks. Sorry, my soul sack. So, Leo full moon. Full moon in Leo. I got a picture of it this morning. So that's the only one we have. This world's a fucking monster, but it's the only one we have. This song is so before its time. The band is Dummy Head Torpedo. It's my friend Shannon, that's her son. It's a dope song. I love it. I'm going to listen to it again. One more time. Dummy Head Torpedo. They made the video for this. The night before they did an all-nighter. So they never landed on planet Earth when they recorded the video. Let's see if I can find the video. Dummy Head That's a rad band name. See, I didn't get to appreciate them as much as I could have, because I was too busy deprogramming myself. Here it is. That's too bad. That's Trevor's the lead singer. Kayam is playing the guitar. Or Travis is singing. Wait, is it Trevor? Aaron is playing the drums. That kid used to steal everybody's lighter, drove me crazy. Like, you know you do it, stop doing it. He had a cop-out and he took it. He probably still gets cop-outs. We didn't really get along. But we had shared interest in music, so I don't got to get along with people to find common denominators. I don't got to like people to exchange ideas and make the world a better place. And they don't got to like me either, but I do recognize their good ideas, and people like me recognize my good ideas. So I'm just trying to make the world a better place. That's all I'm trying to do. And there's so many people that are trying to make it worse, and I'm like, why do you hate life? And, well, they're demonic. They're not human. They like to watch suffering and butt stuff, and I ain't into either of those things, so I'm here to talk and squash about all that weird stuff, you know? That Epstein stuff, understand that stuff started in the year 2000. That's when it came on my radar, because I'm all about security and operational security, safety, women's safety, because, you know, there's so many predators out there. So in 2007, it came across my radar. And they've been buddies since then. It's just, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just, you know, a hole's a hole. It's not a big deal. People take things too much seriously. A party's a party. My brother got human trafficked when he was like 12 years old to go to Disney World. And then now he's a dad. Took his, you know, to impress his future wife, his now handler. He took, you know, a year and a half, 2-year-old kid in a stroller to Disney World. Like, all they, you know, just didn't print it. So that's the program. Just keep getting them to go to Disney World, and they don't care about the weird stuff that they do in the secret clubs while they're there. I won't with this earth anymore. It's not even that I can't. I won't. I am not going to live in the imposed reality of what they've been trying to force me to believe in my whole life since I was a little kid. Believe in goodness. So over here, the people that are telling you to believe in doing the right thing are doing all of the wrong things, I assure you. America is a psyop. The whole world is. Just, give them a little bit. Give them entertainment. They'll entertain themselves while we're over here flying around here partying, putting gold-plated this and gold-plated that, while every first of the month that comes around, more Americans are homeless on the street. More, not less. There should never be any homeless Americans on the street. Never. Everyone should have an address, even if they don't want to live there. Don't worry about it. I ain't for you. I'm not for you. I live here to expose the truth of the lies in which the people of this nation perpetuate. The colonial nonsense. We're going to take this land just because we feel like it. Yeah, that's the principles in which America is founded on. Half of my blood is lizard blood. I have that colonial blood. So I have it in me that if I want something from you, I'll be darned, I'm just going to go over and take it. Whether it's your girlfriend or your wife, it don't matter. If I want it, that is the lizard, low vibrational mentality of the colonialists. The without pigment, the without color is white. White is the absence of all color. So that allows them to just completely be filled with their own ego and all that they are and all that they desire and all that they want. Make boom, boom, bombs over there. Pay ourselves tax-free, hazardous duty for words like democracy and freedom. And then come back over here and have parades for words like democracy and freedom. How free are people feeling with all the bags of ice all over? You got ice bags all over America. My brother, that's the program. My brother started in the program back when he got in trouble and the judge gave him an ultimatum. Come my way or go in the system. Go be in the jail or be a part of keeping people in the jail. And he went the smart way and he stayed out, and now he makes $250,000 a year to lock people up. He doesn't do anything to help them. He doesn't do anything to rehabilitate them. He doesn't do anything to make their lives better. He just, and he is a terrible judge of character. Took the guy like 7 years to get his Bachelor of Science degree. I just figured that out this morning. I got my associates and my bachelor's in 4. While being in the military. And he took classes like poli-sci, which are essentially octane classes. You get that? You get poli-sci. They set people up to go to Hollywood, act over here, get people to act how we want them by TV and entertainment, because everybody's going to listen to a false idol for profit, or get them to go into politics where they can write and designate what laws are and what people do to break them and how long they have to lock away so the monsters can protect us from the monsters. Like attracts like. They ain't it to try to help nobody. Nobody. My brother threw me and mom away 5 years ago. I fucking begged that asshole. I said, during my credit shot, I can't get a job. I can't go to work because I can't leave mom. Like, all these things I was able to do, I can't do anything to do. And I don't know what to do, and I need help, big brother. And he's like, put 2 dogs in a home and put mom in a home and get rid of 2 of your dogs. Get an apartment and go back to work. That was the solution for me. He said, I'm going to help you by not helping you. And my body, like, disassociated, and it's 5 years later, it's just coming back down into my soul, disassociated from my body, and 5 years later, I'm just coming down to a place where I'm back in my soul's grounding again. Because all my dogs died. So I'm not afraid of all my dogs dying, because that was the biggest fear in my life, is losing all my dogs at the same time. Oh, I gotta get my cup of coffee. You see, I'm one of those psychic intuitives. I'm one of those people that people watch all those videos about, like those tapes and stuff. I'm one of those people, but Mom always protected me from them. So I got all the abilities. I'm a telepath. I'm a telekinesis. I can knock a lighter off your hand. I've done it to people all over the United States. Hey, you want to see my lighter trick? I'm like Stuart Smalley in the metaphysical world. Hey, look what I can do. And then people are like, this bitch can move shit with her energy field. You know, but it's still, I don't impress nobody. I got Chiron and Aries, so I'm hidden and veiled under the I'm hidden under the veil of obscurity. That's what I was trying to say. Like, nothing I do is a big deal. Right? And then my buddy wrote me this letter of a recommendation, and it made my whole life pretty much. I was thinking, I'm like, this dude might have written my obituary without even knowing it. You want out, girl? Margie faced numerous challenges, which she met with confidence and professionalism while achieving her goals. During this time, she balanced her military service with her studies as a college student while simultaneously volunteering in the local community. In the years following her military service, Margie set aside her career progression to provide full-time long-term care for a family member. She approached the situation with the same confidence and professionalism she demonstrated throughout her life, making difficult transition appear seamless. My admiration for this act cannot be measured. That's Margie. So, I'm going to stop crying like a big baby. Because I'm a big baby! Blah! See, I cry because I'm water and air, and then I get over it, and then I get on with shit. So, alright, today's talk I called... What did I call today's talk? I called it... What did I call today's talk? What did I call today's talk? I remember the second part. I always forget the first part. New World Out of Order. That was actually the name of a talk that I made 5 years ago, and I posted this morning as a repost in my community section. And Benny's in it, and I love it, because energy never dies, and Benny will never be gone forever, because he's always in my videos. I miss Benzo and Tuck and Artie. I miss them all. And then I was sad to see my buddy Saul. I woke up to a post that he posted last night that he lives right next to highway, I don't know, highway outside of Reading, and his companion got hit and killed. And that was like my goal. And my neighbor next door, their pug just got out a couple months ago and got ran over, and I saw it on the local ad, and there's just so much loss. It's just, when things die happy and loved, and when things die at peace, it's a lot better for the world. As you know, there's been so much loss in the last 5 years, and look how people died. They died alone, they died scared, they died mad, they died, in all these angry frequencies, and now all this collective energy of people on the other side is stirring up, it's mixing up, and this unrest, this unjust, all these crimes, Emily Pike, all this, they don't care, injustice, it's creating storms, and it's creating havoc, and people are going to have to be made to sit and think about their behavior and what they allow. And you know, the only way it's going to settle down is if the soul sacks that are here on earth calm down. If they find a sinner, the Buddhists talk about the sinner, get calm, find your peace. I've been trying to be more intentional with my breath because I forget to breathe. I live in a disassociated state. I have no earth, so I forget to breathe. I forget to breathe all the time. I'm always told it's good for some things, bad for most. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to put that video. Boop, 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 boop. New world out of order. I can't get to my video. Why can't I cut a link on my phone and paste it with my thumb onto the chat here? How come that's not a thing? Let's make that a thing. I'm going to speak that into existence right here, right now. Whatever day this is. What is it? February 1st? I'm going to say it. One day we're going to be able to cut a link on our phone and paste it over. I want to see that. You know why? Because I thought of stuff like that when I was a little 6-year-old little girl back in the 1980s. And I watched shows like Matt Houston. Right? He's a LA or Houston, Texas rich boy who lived in the penthouse, who had the big computer and would just sit on his, you know, like AI, it ain't never existed because it always existed in the no place space in the minds of the imaginations of people like me, and then we create it and bring it to the tangibles with everyone else. Like the first AI that I remember was before even the most significant, I'll say this, the most significant was Kit, the car Kit, Knight Rider. You know, the macho machismo, the Captain Save-A-Ho, the go in and save the day. You know, they never could catch the Epsteins, but they have all these brilliant minds, the never to catch the Epsteins. And they, you know, he's driving around, talk to his car. You know, he had a little fake friend right there. It's not new. Nothing's new. They just make it shinier, make you think it's different. And then let's see. Before that, it was that robot that bit. I remember that. Was that Buck Rogers? I didn't like it. My brother liked that show. I didn't like that show. We didn't like the same stuff. He's Virgo. I would rather be outside playing with the animals, watching the birds, watching the cycles of Earth, the patterns of Earth. Realizing that, you know, animals are just like, we're just like, we are animals, and we're, you know, I watched that. I can't watch the Eagles anymore. I can't watch the Eagles anymore. Because I'm just reminded that we are like the Eagles, and like, you know, neglectful. And then you go off and do your little eagle shit, and here comes the ravens, tick, 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 eat the little eagle eggs, because mom or dad, and I'm just reminded that this is what America is. You know, it's brutal, it's ugly, it's gross, and they never take care of babies. So I can't watch the Eagles no more. So we're coming into the world new order. See, because their plans never worked. Their plans never worked. And so, because good is better. And so, like, they can't a plan is only good if a person can execute it themselves. Right? So you have people that have never done any heavy lifting of any sort in their whole entire lives. They never had to do like plunge a toilet or laundry or things that most real people do. Yet they are the ones creating a society for us regular real people. You see the disconnect? Do you see how it don't work? So I speak into existence a world that I want to see, where all the politicians, everyone that sits in a chair where they are communally decided who gets to sit in the chair, that everyone that gets a nice cush life from deciding how things are going to be, that they all get to go out within their community. And every single politician, every single representative of constituents are invited to go sleep on the streets of your own cities. 4 nights, 5 days. trying to use your own resources. If you want to sleep in a mission, try and get in. And you will get an assumed identity. And you'll get a burner phone. So and you can't use your advantage. And we're going to play like the undercover boss with politicians. And you guys can figure out how shitty your systems are by being a victim of your own shitty systems. And then see how quick things change. Because now you're not negligent. Now you know. Now you know when somebody calls the welfare office to try to get benefits, food stamps or whatever, and there's nobody there on the other end of the phone because you switched over to AI, even though there's only 6,000 people in the whole town of Taos. But everybody else is doing it. You have the budget, so you're going to do it so people can't get through. And then in your mind, people don't need food stamps, so the economy must be getting better. No, they can't get them because they can't get to you because you're watching YouTube videos, Penny, in social services. And you don't call people back at the time that you say you're going to call because your word isn't really worth anything because you're born and raised in a place where that you just always do what you feel like doing because that's how you always done. And that's not how accountable people behave, Penny, in health and human services. That, you know, my mom couldn't even get food stamps in this town. And she was born in Cuesta and then thrown away to an orphanage. That's what they do. They make systems to pay themselves to say, we care, while throwing little babies away. And then terrible things happen to little babies in systems like CPS, orphanages, the White House, the Oval Offices, planes. Like bad things happen to kids everywhere. I'm broken style. I'm broken style. You know, there's been periods of time that I've had money and I've used it to do things. All the while, I'm doing things for other people. See, because I have a vision. I don't care about the rest of the world. Rest of the world's fine. Rest of the world's okay. She's fine. She'll be okay. People on it, maybe not. They're probably not going to fare as well. You know, us bottom dwellers, us underdogs, you know, when the poles flip, in my mind, that just means us disadvantaged are going to have more of an advantage. And those people that have been riding around on their high horses looking down at us, we're coming into the year of the horse, understand? Chinese astrology, things are about to change. All these people on their high horse, the horse is fed up and is going to knock them off of their high horse. And that is how I see it. And I predict shit better than because I use not just astrology, I use psychology. And something that I have above any other Rick Levine, R.I.K., Rick Astrologer, Lori Levodian, Joni Patry, Molly McCord, I value their opinion so much. The exception to my perception versus theirs is that their program is still part of the program. And I look at this stuff outside of the program, and I've never heard any single one of them, even the Leo Cub, never heard them talk about teachers. Well, maybe occasionally they'll mention like Edgar Casey. But what about Bill Donahue, who just died? No spiritual, nobody, and that man connects scripture with astrology. Like so how many of those people probably never even heard of him? So how much could their teachings be expanded by listening to that other man's perception? But you have all these people. An astrologer is going to give you a reading based on their astrology. So if you're an Aries that's getting a reading by a Virgo that makes proclamations that Virgos don't see Aries, you're probably not going to want to get a reading by a Virgo because you're not going to be seen. You feel me? I was going to get a reading by Robert Phoenix until he said, Virgo don't see Aries. And I was like, you know, that makes a lot of sense because my brother's a Virgo. My sister was a Virgo. And her family didn't even know. She had 3 kids, didn't even know she had an aunt. Mom never talked about her family. So I guess I don't really have to be sad about her dying in that motorcycle accident because people that don't exist don't get sad, right? We don't mourn. And in my mind, to most people, I don't exist because they ignore me. They shut me out. Because usually I remind them of a time that they feel bad about. And they want to shut me out because I'll remind them of the emotions that they felt during that time, and they just, shut it out. So when I was a little kid, I read a book. I don't like to read. It messes with my mind. And what I mean by that, let me express that in a more articulate fashion, is I'm reading a story and what the author is writing on the page. And then I'm perceiving it from the perceiver. My perceiver's perceiving the story. And then I'm picturing the writer sitting in the chair writing the story. And then I'm picturing what life is like, what happened when they wrote this page in their life. And then how they're going to always, if they ever read this page again, they're going to remember that incident. Like, I'm thinking all these other things, so it's so much farther, more expansive than just the story on the page. And then plus, it's just a whole thing. I'm trying to articulate it is enough to blah. Anyway, so when I was a little girl, like, I don't know, I was probably 11, 10. I was at Rother when I was assigned to read this book. It's called The Phantom Toll Booth by Norton Juster. I never looked up his latitude. No, I think I did, actually. Well, he kind of looks creepy. June 2nd, 1929. So he was born Gemini and died Pisces, March 8th, 2021, Northampton. Dot in the line I never read. He wrote The Phantom Toll Booth in 1961. Oh, his connection, his nepotism, derived from the University of Pennsylvania, University of Liverpool. His parents were Jewish. That's all you get. All the influence goes to the chosen ones. Like, hey, if you are, then don't bother. Then just go down and take your role as fast food, as the slaves and the support to the rest of the important people. Okay? That's how it is. Everybody gets the good jobs, and the shit jobs get left over to the non-chosen. It is so stupid. I won't with this. Okay, The Phantom Toll Booth. Synopsis. Illustrations by Jules Pfeiffer. Wait, where was he born? Brooklyn and New York. So that's the 40th parallel. So that's probably why I read that, because I read it when I was on the 40th parallel. Because we're just little songs. We are the song. Us. We create a tune with our psyche, our heart, electricity of our heart, and our muscles and our body. We go out and act out a song of our life. A tune. A story. Right? Some people write books. Some people go to the military. The dash in between their life. The start date of your life and the end date of your life. All we are is the dash. That's all we are. And you float around in people's orders, and either you use your energy to do things positively to help the community, or you do a bunch of freaking weird shit that serves yourself. And we know that America at this point is run on butt stuff. So, but this book was so cool. I liked it. Maybe I'll go back and I'll read it again with my mind now today. Jules Pfeiffer was he is a he. He was born January 26th. So he is an Aquarius. And he died Aquarianally. He died Aquarianally. Because people die around their birth. My grandma died she was December. She was a witch, though, so I think that they take lives on significant dates. And she went the 23rd of December, 2004. And then Yeah. She was born December 11th. Anyway, okay, so, and where was Jules Pfeiffer born? Does it say where he's born? New York City, 40th latitude. It's all, because I don't want to get into much of that. So I wanted to focus on the story of the Phantom Toll Booth. The story follows a bored young boy named Milo, who unexpectedly receives a magic toll booth. A toll booth is like a phone booth. They still have them in Bellevue. There's one in Bellevue. I used to use it. It was not too far from when I lived on Warren Street when I was in the Air Force. I'd use it sometime because it reminded me of the Phantom Toll Booth. It's probably gone up, but it was only $1 at the time. I think it might have been like a drawbridge even. So, and it reminds me of Superman too, when he goes into the phone booth, which is like a toll booth. Only you make calls. Anyway. That transports him to the once prosperous but now troubled Kingdom of Wisdom. See, this is my MK Ultra programming, okay? So I whisked off to the Kingdom of Wisdom when I was a 10-year-old autistic girl, along with a dog named Tuck, and my dog, Tucker, that I always called Tuck. I'm making connections right now and it's tripping me out, so you gotta bear with me. He just died. And the humbag. Along with the dog named Tuck and the humbag, Milo goes on a quest to the castle in the air, seeking the kingdom's 2 exiled princesses named Rhyme and Reason. I gotta read this book again. As Milo learns valuable lessons, he finds a love of learning in a full story of puns and wordplay, such as exploring their literal meanings and idioms. I gotta go back and read this book again. In 1958, Juster had received a Ford Foundation grant for... Wait a minute. I don't want to know about the actual book. And then there's an Epstein in there, though. Wait a second. Wait a minute. In 1958, Juster had received a Ford Foundation grant for a children's book about cities. Unable to make progress on that project, he turned the writing to what became the Phantom Toll Booth, his first book. His housemate, Pfeiffer, a cartoonist, interested himself in the project. Jason Epstein, an editor at the Random House, bought the book and published it. The Phantom Toll Booth received rave reviews as of 2021, sold almost 5 million copies. Did I watch the film? I think I watched the film when it came out. But it has that Whoopi chick in it, and she's a human trap. Oprah, and they're all human trap. Wait a minute. Critics have compared its appeal to that of Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. And that's where they get the looking glass theory from. And I was stationed at office where the looking glass was. This is all very weird. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. My life is Oz. I was Toto the dog. I was literally the technical order distribution officer. It's on my permanent record at Offutt Air Force Base. My mom is the scarecrow, the one with, because she got her head slammed in a car door. So the no brain, she can't remember anything after 5 minutes. My brother is the Tin Man. I have a picture of him. He was the Tin Man in a play. They put silver paint on his face. They put a little heart. Somebody pinned it on him. He has no heart. He's a lawyer today. My father, he's the lion. He's the coward. He's the dad that couldn't stay with he's the Freemason. He couldn't take care of the messes he made. See how life imitates art? See? So I want to, wow, I'm kind of tripped out right now. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm putting this stuff together in my head because I'm one of those MK Ultra kids. I just didn't, it's like I went a part of their program, taking the good and leaving the rest. Everything I ever did. AA, like, I like the principles of not aligning myself with any denomination, no political. So anyone talks politics, I just go, they're an NPC. They're all reindeer games to me. Thank you for listening. I'm glad you're here. I hope your cup of coffee. I knocked mine over twice, so I hope you have. I hope that that's something I wish on people, and they might not do it. They might not even drink coffee, but I wish that like that first drink of that cup of coffee lands, because it's not always a rad cup of coffee. Because sometimes things happen, elements, outside forces. So Jason Woodlow Epstein, Leo, August 25th, after my brother's birthday. Looks like a fucking creep. In publishing, I've done talks before several times about how the publisher, how the media, how Hollywood creates impressions on how people should want to be, and how the things that they should want to love and want to believe in, all the holidays, which pay homage to their weird demigods. And then they want us to believe in things that are good, like the 4th of July, and all that does is pay homage to the ideology of pride, which is a fool's emotions, because it makes people believe things that aren't true. Like, their little Hito could never do anything wrong, as little Hito is blazing with his truck because he played too many games of Grand Theft Auto, so he got himself a gun, a bat, so he could go whack some prostitutes upside the head, and then they act out what they see, because that's what people do. We're programmed to act what we see, or us contrarians, we are programmed to go against that, because you have to have duality in everything. You can't just cheat. You gotta give people a chance to win fair and square, and then they stack the deck. My brother literally did that when we would play kids. So I get these analogies based on these behaviors of these psychopaths. You know how they talk about J.D. Vance? I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to put it in nice terms. What they talk about what J.D. Vance did with the couch. So you'll see it all over the internet. I'm writing things like, the couch did not consent. The couch did not consent. We had a couch one time, and it was all dilapidated, like the dog peed on it, the cat sweat on it. It stunk, but we couldn't take it to the dump so we were poor. And so Mom was breaking it down with a hammer every week and putting parts of the couch in the trash. That's how determined she was, when she had the energy, she'd use it to make things better or get rid of things that made things worse. And it was like broken down and all. It wasn't really. And I came in one day, and he was like up against the couch, and I was like, I was like, what are you doing? Because he's like 12, 13, the right age, stuff like that. Single mom, fucking Virgo, experimenting with the safe sensations of his body. And he fucking freaked out, got all embarrassed, and took off running. And I was like, and so the first time I heard that J.D. Vance was a couch effer, I was like, oh my God, so is my brother. So it's okay if my brother never wants to speak to me again, because California bar number 249276 is in fact the couch effer. Like his buddies in Hollywood, the ones that enlist in the Army Guard and go down. His George Floyd or Minneapolis or whatever, they did this. Yeah, no, it's a thing. Think about it. Look at all the people that went to go watch American Pie. You think it's because no, it's a common denominator of perverts. And look at the people like that made the movie and where they are now, and how much they talk about how wasted they were when they did this shit, and how they didn't really age wisely. Maybe the sober guy did. That's on that show with Tim Allen now. He looks fit, like he got his shit together. He's still an actor perpetuating the program, though. So, yeah, no. There are people out there, and we waltzed among them, and they wear suits, and they all wear the same shoes, and they all wear, I think, in my mind, they all wear fedoras. Oh, you want to go outside? Am I not telling you? I'm sorry about it. Come here, pretty girl. Come on, you want to go outside? Come on, you want to go walk around? Come on, let's go. I'll be right back. Yeah, they all wear fedoras. Like Epstein. Epstein wore a fedora. So dudes that wear a fedora, they're creepy. Count fucking butt stuff. Come on. I'll check on you in a minute, okay? I'll check on you in a minute. Alright, she's outside. I gotta keep track because it's cold out there. Yeah, they want, but you don't find them in grocery stores. But if you go to like municipal buildings, sheriff office, the police, they all do it too, dude. They just protect themselves. They don't tell their, because they don't, you want to know? Okay, I'm going to tell you what happens to all those beautiful trans women in the world. Okay? Is that you have all these frat boys that are gay, but they pretend like they're not. And it's okay what people are, as long as you're, they're too consenting, and there's not a whole lot of not lying, cheating, and manipulation going on. You like, people got to be above board. Now, I'm monogamous and I'm a prude, so I don't fall into really any of these categories. For the people that like to have consensual all the time or whatever, because that just comes with energetic nastiness that I don't like to participate in anymore. Because you're not only with that person, you're with every person that person's been with. And that just creeps me out. I can't. I won't. Well, but I still have love and admiration for those that partake. How's that? So, and the earth wouldn't go on without the beautiful creators. And I'm all for the moms. The moms, I love the moms. I can't be with the moms. It sucks. It sucks that I have rules for myself because I went against my rules and the consequences were so much more painful than I hadn't, than not going down that timeline. So I learned my lesson, but still, there's a lot of freaking beautiful, wonderful, nurturing, loving moms on this planet Earth that would be the most ideal companion to walk with us in this earth. However, I can't do that because they hijacked me. See, I was supposed to be born a male, and they put shit in me that instead of going right, my body took a left. And so now I am full female, okay? So I'm full female. Yet there's this phantom life of mine where I am a man. And I was born to the life that I was supposed to have. And I was married and I had beautiful children and I did all these things. Well, I had that in a past life. Only I lived from my ego and I didn't take care of it. So now I don't get to live that life because all moms are wives to other people. They're not mine. And it sucks sometimes because sometimes I think God is mean that he brings people into my life just to show me what beauty and love is. Just to be the observer. Because it is all for them, for others. I hope that makes sense. Because it makes sense between my horns. I need to chill out. That got too heavy. That's just how it is. That's how my morning started with my first cup of coffee. I had these epiphanies, and I was just like, all I can do is like, I wonder if I could help teach women how to practice date. Like, teach that, because I grew up my whole life, I imagined all I did, my whole life was what it would be to please women. I'm just this nerdy chick. I'm just this, nobody ever but I would take this one girl that dumped me. She taught me more about relationships. She was a tourist, so she would keep coming back. We kept coming back into each other's orbits, even though it was like toxic. We were a toxic relationship. I got to explore a lot of things, and so did she in that relationship. She just went the way of the toxicity, and I had to let her go that way because she was somebody else's wife. See how that goes? And so she taught me so much, and there was 3 different times I took that same woman on a date out of town. I took her on lots of dates. Took her to see like the producers and Rent when it did its 10-year anniversary at Broadway Across America back in 2006. Went to her sponsor, and I went to her we had a meeting that way, but I went to her like her proverbial mom, and I was like, can we go? I got tickets to the show, this Broadway, can we do that? Oh yeah, later. And that lady hated me, but I did all this really cool shit. That's why they hated me, because I was so good to her. And they wanted her life to go a different way, not with me. And it did, whatever, it worked out. But 3 different times I took this, twice, because we lived in Omaha, so we like road trips, so we get in the car, and we drive to Kansas City. It's like 2 hours, like from Redding to Sacramento, and stay in the plaza. I take her shopping, we get the silver jeans and stuff, I'd like have a budget, okay, and then what do you, and then let her, so I take her on little sprees, not like white man rich sprees or nothing. I was an airman in the military, I was so anyway, and then we'd stay at a nice hotel, and then, have fun, and she'd be sitting in the bed, and she'd be texting her ex-boyfriend, and that's just how it was. Then we go back to home, and then she'd dump me, because she was texting her ex-boyfriend, and she didn't want a life like that. She didn't want to be present in a life with me. She was making all these moves, and having all these other lives. 3 times I fell for that. See, because I am so I don't have Earth, so I keep thinking, maybe if I try it a little bit different, the outcome will be different. No, the outcome's always the same when you go with the same person that has the same outcome. That's what I had to learn. Twice Kansas City. Once we went to the Twin Cities Mall of America. And what's his face was there? I'm not a Trekkie. I don't like Star Trek. I'm Star Wars. And that William, because one time I heard an interview with William Shatner on the phone with the 911 call of when he was too cool, calm, and collective when his wife was drowning at the bottom of the pool. And I always wondered why he never jumped in to get her, to at least try. My wife is at the bottom. Why don't you? It's just, no, he's a creep. Mm-mm. So, I got to go back to the Phantom Toll Booth. The Epstein publisher, Cambridge, Massachusetts. See, because the white in me is from all this. Isaac Walton, my grandma was a Walton. She was the Eastern Star. We have relatives that were in publishing, that worked for the publisher that makes school textbooks. I am the mistake. I am the truth in the lives. I am the truth in their lives, because Mom got 42. Yep, same parallel. God, this stuff is lining up like crazy. So going back to the film, I want to tell I'm just trying to get through the synopsis is all I'm trying to do. The Wonderful World of Oz. Marie, okay. Plot. There, that's what I want. Plot. They even have a map. I gotta go back and watch this. Okay. Milo's a boy, bored in the I'm gonna get through this one take. I already just didn't. I tried so hard. Milo is a boy bored by the world around him. Every activity seems a waste of time. He arrives home from another boring day at school to find a mysterious package. Among its contents are a small toll booth and a map of the lands beyond, illustrating the kingdom of wisdom, which will also guide the reader from its place on the end papers of the book. Attached to the package is a note for Milo, who has plenty of time. For Milo, who has plenty of time, worn by an included sign to have his destination in mind. He decides without much thought to go to Dictionopolis, assuming that this is a pretend game to be played on the floor of his room. He maneuvers through the toll booth in his electric tour car and instantly finds himself driving on the road that is clearly not his city apartment. Milo begins with expectations, a pleasant place to where he starts on Wisdom's road. In expectations, he sees directions from the Wither Man, who is full of endless talk. As Milo drives on, he daydreams and gets lost in the Doldrums, a colorless place where nothing ever happens. Milo soon joins the inhabitants, the Lethargians, in killing time there, a pastime angrily interrupted by the arrival of Talk, a talking oversized dog with an alarm clock on each side, a watchdog, who tells Milo that not only thinking can he get out of the Doldrums. He tells Milo that only by thinking he can get out of the Doldrums. Head abuzz, he unaccustomed thoughts. Head abuzz with unaccustomed thoughts, Milo is soon back on his road, and Talk joins him on his journey through wisdom. Milo and Talk travels to Dictionopolis, one of the two capital cities of the divided kingdom of wisdom, and home to King Azaz, the unabridged. They meet King Azaz's cabinet officials and visit the world market, where the words and letters are sold that empower the world. A mind between the spelling bee and the blustering humbag. A fight. Oh, see, I gotta pay attention. A fight between the spelling bee and the blustering humbag breaks up the market, and Milo and Talk are arrested by the very short officer Shrift. In prison, Milo meets Fately Macrobe, the not-so-wicked witch, not to be confused with witch, so it's W-H-I-C-H, not W-I-T-C-H. Long in charge of which words should be used in wisdom. She tells him how the two rulers, King Azaz and his brother, the mathematician who had two adopted younger sisters, Rhyme and Reason, to whom everyone came to settle disputes, all lived in harmony until the rulers disagreed with the princess's decision that letters, championed by Azaz, and numbers, by the mathematician, were equally important. They banished the princess to the castle in the air. Since then, and the land has had neither rhyme nor reason. Milo and Talk leave the dungeon. King Azaz hosts them as a banquet where the guests literally eat their words. They make people... served to them on plates. After the meal, King Azaz lets Milo and Talk talk themselves into a dangerous quest to rescue the princess. As flatters the humbag into being their guide, and boy, dog, and insect set off for the mathemagic magician's capital of Digitopolis, as they must gain his approval before they can begin their quest. Along the way, they meet such characters as Alec Beans, a little boy suspended in the air who sees through things and who will grow down until he reaches the ground. Then he meets the world's smallest giant, the world's biggest dwarf, and the world's thinnest fat man. Oh, man. And the world's fattest thin man, who just turns out to be one regular man. Milo then loses time in substituting for Chroma the Great, the conductor who orchestrates the colors of the world. Focus, Marge. They meet a 12-sided creature called the dodecahedron, I remember that word, who leads them in Digitopolis, where they meet the mathemagician who is still angry at Azaz, who will not give his blessing to anything that his brother has approved. Milo maneuvers him into saying he will permit the quest if the boy can slow the two have occurred on anything since they banished the princesses. The number wizard's shock. Milo approves. The two have to agree to disagree, and the mathemagician gives his reluctant consent. In the mountains of ignorance, the journeys contend with demons like the terrible Trivium and the Galatius giant. After overcoming obstacles and their own fears, they reach the castle in the air. Princess Rhyme and Reason welcome Milo and agree to return to wisdom. Unable to enter the castle, the demons cut it loose, drifting it away, but Milo realizes talk can carry them down because time flies. I love this. The demons pursue, the armies of wisdom arrive and repel them. Rhyme and Reason heal the divisions of the old kingdom of wisdom, as and the mathematicians are reconciled, and they all enjoy a 3-day celebration. Milo says goodbye and drives back through the toll booth. Suddenly he's back in his own room and discovers he has only been gone an hour. Though his journey seemed to take weeks, he awakens the next day with plans to return to the kingdom, but finds the toll booth gone when he gets home from school. A note there instead is for Milo, who now knows the way. The note states that the toll booth is being sent to another child who needs help finding direction in life. Milo is somewhat disappointed, but agrees to look at the now interesting world around him, concluded that even if he found a way back, he might not have time to go. Yep, Phantom Toll Booth. For there is so much to do right there where he is. This is the story of my life. I've lived. My brother is the mathematician. See, but we're all twins because we're all masculine and feminine energy. So it's the twins, Rhyme and Read. It's the masculine and feminine. And see, when people go too much of one thing, it stifles out the other. And if there's too many men on the planet that have more feminine energy than masculine in them, and then they overcompensate with that, then we have conflict within themselves, and then they create military fake wars. Yeah, I am. You want to know why I'm well versed in literature? Because, dude, this was my teacher. This guy, I went to Bellevue University, is where I got my Bachelor of Science. This guy right here, Ed Rahut, because that's how they tell us what they're going to do, by telling us what they did. Ed A. Rahut, PhD, he created this signature series. He's in the big meeting in the sky, but they had a Friday night meeting, friends of Bill W. at this university, so I'd have a class and then just go to a meeting after. It worked out perfect, right? And sometimes my teacher would too. And then this in the signature series, which everybody has to take, that's how we read about the Iliad. And then we read Plato's The Cave, and I've done talks. You know how my version of it is called Algorithm of the Cave, and how they keep us in fear based on saying what's happening out there, and they do it by putting it on. My FYP is much different than the rest of the world. My IT background, but see, you don't need to go to college. That's what I'm trying to tell people, is I got this book on 12 bucks, and I'm going to talk about the stuff that I learned and put together, so the education that I provide for free is more. I worked at Creighton University with professors in statistics, and what I would tell them things like, statistics are just as easy to manipulate are the people that gather them. And then I would blow his whole career, because it's true. If you're signing the back of the paychecks and somebody doesn't like the numbers that you say are true, you're going to change the numbers until they like them, or they're going to stop giving you that paycheck. It's called, until they give you tenure and all that stuff, but that's another incestuous, gross pool of nepotism. On the back it says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. But they don't include women and the other things that are of this earth, like me, that, like I was a man, but they took it away from me. So I'm less equal than I would have been if I would have got my natural, if they wouldn't have manipulated my mother like a weird scientific Frank project. See, Frank Zappa, I never liked his music. I liked his brain and his influence. My buddy Saul, who earlier I mentioned, his sweet beloved dog got ran over by a truck last night, which reminds me of how grateful I am that I got to keep my dogs until they were old, because it's the greatest gift to love an old lady or an old man or an old dog or an old cat, because that is when they get to encompass all that they are. So if they are full of love their whole life and get to be full of love, and their life isn't cut short, then they're just all full, like my mom. She has had the most ferocious life. Men have done the grossest stuff to her. She's had to live in a disassociated state, and she doesn't have to anymore, because she knows Marge is going to take everything. See, and I was never a Dr. Seuss fan. I never liked all the stuff that everybody liked. I always thought it was up. I was more of Shelf Silverstein and stuff. Or then I hated to read, because I wanted to go imagine my own stuff, because to me, all people do when they write a book is they get an idea, is because they're tapping into the no place space. The place where all data is collected and held. You can see it, like if you sun gaze and you close your eyes through like the spit of your eyes, you can see rainbows. That's the no place space. You see it. I was telling the massage lady yesterday, you can see rainbow on every people's. If you look at a raven or a crow, they're not black. They encompass all colors, because black is beautiful because it holds all colors of the rainbow. White is less than because it has no color in the rainbow. And colors in the rainbow is what animates us and makes our spirit soulful, beautiful. It's a palette of our soul is what color is, and then people don't have it, and they're like, chasing sensations, parties, cocaine, drinking too much, butt stuff, human trafficking, all that stuff that, you lock people away for doing, but they do themselves. I won't with any of it. So I guess I am a witch. I'm just not a witch. I'm a witch, not a witch. Because I'm a collection of all the stories I've ever been a part of, because I've taken little bits and pieces of everything. And we all do it. Like, how many people... I've seen my ex-girlfriend write on her page, and I've seen my ex-girlfriends tell other people terms of endearment that I've said to them. And I don't mind. Because there's a lot of people I love their guts. And I tell them, instead of I hate your guts, something I always said, I love your guts. I love your guts. Your guts are great. And I say it sometimes when I love somebody and they're acting less than. And I don't want to love them because I don't love their behavior. And then I differentiate the difference between they are not their behavior and they just need to know that they are not their behavior. Differentiate that. Don't be that behavior. My reputation is built. Like, people think I've done all these terrible, stupid things. Oh, but I want to do a book study on this. It has constitution, and this stuff bores me. Because it's like script on a page, but look at all the Americans that went off script. So, it just supports my belief system even more that Washington, D.C. and Hollywood are the same. That these are just they just take them as recommendations. They don't live this way. The rule of law and the right to property. There are two other fundamental American beliefs that I would add to McElroy's list of belief in rule of law. The notion that we are a nation of laws, not men. And that no matter that his rank or influence is above the law. And we're seeing, this is just the first thing I see, and this is what is consumed America right now. And the belief in the individual right to own property, which entails keeping most of what we pronounced or earned. And what are they trying to do? You got a bunch of freaking Diet Coke swilling, McDonald's guzzling, pants shitting in the Oval Office, fucking fraternal order of butt stuff. You could put a $10,000 suit on a turd. Doesn't take the turd stain out. But single moms don't deserve it because they hate women. Because they look at women as holes. Even if the women are men, that's what I was saying earlier, is that's what I found to be true. Is you got these frat boys, these high school football, baseball stars, not really basketballs, because they're not really bad, but I've seen it 1,000. They're little machismos because they're overcompensating, and so they want to be something that's not good. They want to be in the truth because they are the lie. Literally, it's weird. It's psychology, but that's why they'll go out and find like a trans woman that's selling themselves in small town Kansas, Nebraska, wherever, and be like, hey, I'm taking you in, but taking you in is a cornfield where they're never to, and then they're, because they took it too far, because they like it rough, and they think that because they do that everybody else likes it rough like them, and then, another trans ends up dead in a cornfield. It happens all the time. But they won't let me in. That's the thing. Why am I going to sit and watch football for 3 hours when I could be out there perfecting my throws because I'm ambidextrous? I'm two-spirited. Whatever I do with my one side, I do with the right. So when I write, I practice writing with both hands, and I do it in a mirror. It's a trip. So, like, we used to, CVI, me, Jamie Vandevert, Lisa Cummings, Josh Chipley for a while. It was like Jamie, it was like Sean quit playing. I think he liked Lisa, and Jamie and Lisa were dating. So we swapped out cast of characters halfway in the season. And then Josh Chipley came in. And later he was playing football. Somebody kicked him across his thigh and broke his femur. And I was like, man, either your bones aren't very thick or they hit it like that. Because that bone is like a teenage kid. So he couldn't play. Or maybe it was Josh and then Sean came in. And then I can't remember. But it was we would play football. And I always wanted to be the kicker. I always wanted to kick the football. I didn't want to do all that other stupid stuff. But I'll go out there and I'll kick it. Because you could put me over here and I'll kick it. Or you could put me... because I just scroll around and I just experiment with stuff. Well, if I could do it here, I'm not always going to be here on the field, so I can't just practice from one shot. I got to practice from all over the field. Is that how kickers operate? Is that how, I don't know. It's doing it like that is a waste of time, but I'm all about logistics. All about logistics. I love my mechanic. I have love for him. My heart is so happy that I found him. Yes, yes, yes. It is, yes. And we have communicated and finally figured out what is going on with the bourbon. And it's going to be taken care of. At the same time, I'm putting side steps on, the round ones. Make it easier to get in, out of, Mom and me. Getting out's easy. Mom's funny. I bet people get a glimpse of me helping Mom get out. It's hilarious. We could do it now. There are these kids. There's this guy in town. His name's Matt. He's a staple. He lives down the hill from me. He's a good guy. There's always information I find out about people that I'd rather they disclose themselves, but I'll give them some time. Give them a chance, you know. People like to start their lives over and not be the person they used to be. So, but I look everybody up. If I'm going to work with somebody, I want to know the shittiest thing you ever done, because I'm going to tell you the shittiest thing I ever done. And if we can't get past that, then we don't need to work together. That's why I put myself all the way out there. So I let people know who they're dealing with, so I know who I don't want to deal with. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so I see him at the market the other day because I just got the radiator fixed, but the hose didn't clear the starter. There's two hoses, and I have a turbo radiator because I want the best, because I don't want it to fuck up when Mom and I are on a mountain someplace. So I just it's easier to stay out of a problem than it is to get out of a problem. So I want everything on this fucker replaced, and that's what they're doing pretty much. So I'm gonna have to wait on ranch style bumpers though. The front bumper is beautiful. I love it. I'm getting excited. She's getting all dressed up, Rosie. My apocalypse wagon. So I see him. He's like, can we sit down and talk? And I was like, yeah, sure. He said, I have. Exactly. I feel the same way. I never had friends though. Like I had people that I was friends to, and they had people that I did things for. So it wasn't, because I don't know, I'm easy to take advantage of. Easy to manipulate until I get the gig, until I start seeing their pattern, and then I break it. I won't participate. And so we sit down, and he's like, I'm working with these group of kids in the local community, and they want to do AI. And just because I'm not a fan of it doesn't mean I want to shit on it for other people. It is a lazy man's tool, and I think that other people like do that, but also learn how to change your own brakes and oil and stuff. Like learn practical skills, and then in the evening when you play on your little tablet. But do both. I think people need to be balanced in skills and abilities and aptitude and imagination, access to the no place space. Like you can't access information and then fucking not viably use it. We are like the receivers of the data to do the work to make heaven on earth. And so I was and he's like, these kids are really into art and stuff, and they want to do AI, and so he's like giving me a pitch, and I just say, what do you need? Like at the end of this, there's gonna be that. Let's just get to that. Okay, get to that. I appreciate all that, but like right now, like I just spent a lot of money and my radiator fluid's in the parking lot, and so I'm not really here, so let's get to that. Yeah, I'm an outcast. I'm a throwaway. I'm a misfit. The Misfits, I didn't like their sound, but I know I hung out with a lot of dudes that did. The Vandals, Black Flag, I liked, you know. Social D, until I saw him in real life, because he sucked a D. Sold out. And he said we need $120 because they want for an iPad, so they can. It's specifically for AI. and I opened my wallet, and you knew that's, see, I would like, see, Henry Rollins was in recovery. I don't like Dave Grohl. I think Dave Grohl is a scumbag. I never, even when I liked Nirvana, most of Nirvana music I didn't like. I liked the lyrics, but the sound didn't go with the lyrics to me. There is a disconnect. But I still appreciate, like, Team Spirit. Like, the times in my life related to that music. But after, I never, like, even the stuff that James, like, that Dave Grohl, like, and then he cheated on his Whitnoff and had kids with, like, he's a scumbag. He's not my heart space. And I'm sure that he and I have a lot in common, too, because I was him in other lives, and that's why I learned why I don't want to be like hymns anymore, because I was the trash bag. So I can't be too hard on people, because the trash I see in them is the trash I see in me, just like the beautiful things too. It's a two-way street. And so, but Henry Rollins was always in recovery, and I remember that. And, like, he took care of himself and stuff. And I don't know where he's at now in time and I've looked him up probably in the last 2 years, but I haven't checked in to where he is. Because I was punk rock. I couldn't skate, but I hung out with skaters. I wasn't a skate buddy. I would try. I was the clown. I was always the fringe person that would be like, here, let me try that. And I could do it, but then I had reasons why I couldn't. But I had the aptitude. I just didn't. I'm clumsy as shit. I'm a clown, dude. Nobody, and people hate clowns. They hate me. If you like clowns, but again, it's about balance. Clown, it's like in the theater with the sad and happy. That's everybody. But where are you gonna sit all the time? Are you gonna people that are always happy? They're just covering up that they're sad. It's not that they're never sad. And people that are always sad, they're sad is because that they've reached happiness, but they can't keep it all the time because they remember the times that they were sad. Email me, straight people like rainbows2@gmails.com. That's my email address. Straight people like rainbows2@gmail.com. Like now, if we're having that weird, like, because I look at time, the world as timelines. You're typing. Recently, I keep my dictation off. I type too because it keeps your mind active, because I'm actuating different parts of my brain when I'm typing. That's why when I write, and that's why it's important that I keep Mom active, because she has so many broken brain cells from her traumatic head injury. Everything I do, every time I engage with her, I give her at least 2 options, because I make her think. Sometimes 3. Mom, would you like yogurt, oatmeal, or eggs for breakfast? And then she answers, and then I give her 3 options on that. And it keeps my mind sharper too. And it helps her participate in her own life. That is why people are leaving this planet at an exponential rate, because they are powerless in participating in the production and advancement of their own lives, because the B system has gotten so grotesque that people are literally rotting and dying in the streets, so we can pull bullshit power moves in places that the people that are dying in the streets, we will never go. I don't care about backpacking in Europe. I care about making Taos cleaner and more safer, where they don't find human skulls in people's front yards, and they don't find decapitated bodies in homeless camps, and people don't travel from all parts far and wide just to come to the Gorge Bridge to jump off, where the sheriff have to go and fish out yet another one, but what is their solutions? They don't have solutions. I have solutions. So this homeboy that was like, I said, what do you need? He said they needed tablets, $100. I opened my wallet. I gave him $120. I gave him $120. And he was just like, you could see, he said, these kids are so talented. Just nobody got no money. And they don't nobody with no money. And those are the people that have the best ideas. And so I was so happy to give them $120. Now they're going to go out and go out. And I said, do me a favor. I said, when you go back and you give these kids the tablet, tell them my name's Marge. And in 1988, my brother took me to an event in Sacramento, California. And it was called the Festival of Animation, where a bunch of kids, punk kids, frat kids, brat kids, bitch kids, cool kids, dope kid, bunch of kids, spirited kid, got to go hang out and watch a bunch of little video shorts where the very first Wallace and Gromit ever came to be. And it was started by a dude that started Ren and Stimpy, which was one of the grossest shows I ever saw. It just like, it just shows you how art gets into the minds of people. The minds of people can be a very dark place. I get people can think about all the darkness that they want, all the weird stuff that they want. It's when that they go against what the collective consciousness agrees to be decency. That is where the trouble lies. And that's where we're at now. So I'm not going to go out there. I have no intention of going out there anywhere ever of saving the world, saving any part of the world. But if people come to Taos, New Mexico, we might cross paths. Just say, hey, Yoka, hey. Hey, Yoka, hey. Hey, Yoka, hey. And I hope I'm not too much in my head and I look scally. I'm trying to tell my face to be nicer. And tell me where you're from. Maybe I'll give you a sticker because I give these to the locals. I give these to travelers. Because we're just all in a phantom toll booth. And rhyme and reason are locked away and stolen in a castle by the mathemagicalticians. My brother's one of them. He's a writer for the script of life. He is a writer for the program. He has the mind. See, I get too scattered. I disassociate. I don't have earth. He has earth. He is so grounded. You could tell him any date, like October 12th, 1947. He'll go, click. It was a Wednesday. That is his mind. See, we're both computers. He just disconnected himself from the source, the main source, God, creator, good orderly direction, and he plugged himself into being the creator under the guise of domination, control, bending people over the conference table, because that's how you get power drilled in America. They're all doing coke and stuff, and then they're acting like they're reasonable men. And see, I'm starting to get I'm not in support for the. That's what it is. Do no harm. That's it. But harm is subjective. I have a video on my shorts of a woman. The last time I went to Tractor Supply here in Taos, I won't go back again ever for any reason. I was talking to a friend. And I was explaining to my friend how inefficient Taos is because I have been a part of the 55th Maintenance Squadron at Offutt Air Force Base, where Looking Glass was, where they have the self-proclaimed and award-winning 55th Maintenance Squadron. So I've been a part of immaculate things, where things were been run with such precision that the whole world believed that we knocked down men in caves knocked down Twin Towers. Understand? So George Bush came to the base where I was, and they called their protocol and their over the radio signs, and nobody in and out while the president taxis by except old Marge. Oh me, that old cantankerous smart-ass Marge never went by the dumb rules. Walked over to the load bank door, stuck my arm out, and I thought, I hope that son of a bitch looks out the window and sees my finger for him. Maybe there's a chance that he does. Probably not, but there's a slight chance that on 9/11, out the aid shop load bank door, George Bush saw my finger giving him the salute. Because there's good, hard-working people in America, in the military, that believe in this land, but you fuckers ruin this country, and we're gonna peacefully take it back. You know how we're gonna do it? The eggheads, the computer nerds, they're gonna go back in your history. They're gonna go back in your yearbooks. They're gonna go back and they're gonna start talking to all those people that you were shitty to. And they're gonna build a case against you. And then when you're out there and you're doing what you do for the people, you're gonna stand up at your city hall meetings, and they're gonna give you a biography of your life on how you serve this community, and they're gonna find out, and they're just gonna hear a story, and they're gonna be like, man, that's really shitty, and then they're gonna figure out what I just read is somebody on your panel right now. That is who you're working with. And that is going to be the new war. Because World War III is of the spiritual variety, but we can't fight with bombs anymore. All we can do is get them to dissolve as they see who and what they actually are. And their biggest fear, the narcissist, is when the world knows that they are in a club of couch fuckers. That's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. I hope y'all have a rad day. Peace.